So I'm at Leeds Crown Court, where these men here, let me see. Right, lads, how you feeling? How you feeling about your verdict? How you feeling about your verdict? How you feeling about your verdict?
What verdict?
How you feeling about the verdict? You got your prison bag with you?
Yeah, look here.
Got your bags for you? You got your bags for you?
Yeah.
How you feeling about the verdict?
Oh, suck your mum's fanny.
Yeah,
You got no guilt. Is there any guilt? Is there any guilt, mate? Is there any guilt?
Fucking dad. You're son of a bitch.
So, as you can see there, doesn't seem like much guilt. Doesn't seem like anyone's ashamed. I'm outside Leeds Crown Court, where today 10 men are facing verdicts. They're verdicts for a alleged grooming and rape scandal involving hundreds of young girls, but there's 18 victims come forward. Some of these girls were as young as 11. Let me read you the list of charges that these men are facing. There's 6 more who are still yet to come here. This is part 2 of the trial, you see, because 29 men, 29 people, 2 women are involved in this case. 30% of them are called Mohammed. 3 of the men walking in here today are called Mohammed. The defendants today, Mansour Akhtar. He's charged with rape, attempted rape and 2 counts of trafficking. Mohammed Akram. He is charged with 7 counts of rape, 3 counts of trafficking, child abduction, supplying drugs, sexual assault and making threats to kill. Wikas Mahmoud. He is charged with 3 counts of rape. Excuse me. There's a rape trial going on, yeah? There's a rape trial going on.
Okay? Why is it your business?
There's a rape trial going on.
Why is it your business?
So why am I a tosser for reporting on it?
No, you're a tosser for being you.
Yeah, go on. No, explain it. What do you think? What do you think of the 29 young children aged 11 who have been ganged?
It's not my concern.
It's not your concern. It's not my concern. They're young English
just a
girls.
wanker.
It's not my concern. This is the problem. You see that? It's not my concern. It's not his concern. Hundreds of young girls have been gang raped in our country, in every town and city across this country. Some of the men are alleged to be in court. The alleged perpetrators are in court today, and people need to know what's going on. People need to know these court cases are happening. Obviously, the problem is you have people like that who think I'm a wanker for reporting on it.
2 minutes with you.
Are you going to arrest me?
My colleague's going to explain what's going to happen next, right?
Am I being arrested? I am being arrested.
Causing a breach of peace.
I've caused a breach of peace. I'm being arrested.
But the content of what you're
Can we just say
streaming.
The content of what I'm streaming, I'm being arrested for breach of the peace. I'm being arrested for breach of the peace. You've all watched this. You've all watched this. You've all watched this. You've all watched this. Can you get me a solicitor? Can you get me a solicitor?
Can you just turn off your live feed?
Can you get me a solicitor?
Turn off your live feed, please.
Yeah?
Do you understand what I've just said to you?
No, can you explain it again?
You're under suspicion. Causing a breach of the peace.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
What
What does that mean?
What
does that mean?
What
does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean?
I've been told that from the feed you're doing on your Facebook live.
An English culture activist is reportedly jailed in the UK after reporting on a trial involving a Muslim grooming gang. OAN political correspondent Neil W. McCabe has that report.
Yes, that's right. The U.S. and England are 2 countries with very similar traditions. But this situation raises questions about whether England is throwing those traditions away. English culture activist Tommy Robinson was arrested. He's a co-founder of the English Defence League, and he was arrested May 25th outside the Leeds Crown Court. Robinson was charged with breaching the peace and incitement roughly 1 hour into his Facebook live streaming outside the trial of members of a Muslim gang accused of grooming children.
I'm being arrested for breach of the peace. I'm being arrested for breach of the peace. You've all watched this. You've all watched this. You've all watched this. You've all watched this. Can you get me a solicitor? Can you get me a solicitor?
Can you just turn off your live feed?
Can you get me a solicitor?
Just turn off your live feed, please.
Yeah?
Do you understand what I've just said to you?
So, can you explain it again?
Not at all, he's never said that.
George, that's the information I've got.
I'm inciting people. I'm inciting people.
His video and
How have I incited people?
hasn't.
This is free speech. This is where we're at.
And we're talking about an iron curtain of censorship that's taking place and multiple levels of a total power grab with political correctness, where they arrest police chiefs that talk about Muslim rapes in Sweden, where the Stasi has been reactivated and works for Facebook. You can't make this up. To arrest people that criticize Islam. Twitter and Facebook help The government of Pakistan find people that are atheists. They call it blasphemy, and they are executed. So you have to understand, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, Google, especially Apple, they're already working with the communist Chinese, rounding up the Christians and Buddhists. They're already working, helping the Arab Spring throw gays off buildings. The West funded that. The elites are allied with Islam because there's 1.8 million of them. The West is dying. And the decision hasn't been made to rehabilitate the Muslims and bring them into the West. I don't care if they got brown skin, a bunch of them. But their culture is pure, absolute evil, many of them. The biggest threat to a Muslim is other Muslims, as you know, Kaylin. So get into, I understand this Iron Curtain of tyranny. He simply reported that they were having, as you know, huge trials on the child kidnapping rings that he had first exposed and been put in prison for. They give him a sentence for that. Then he's given 13 months commuted. He simply goes and covers they're having a trial. Nothing about the details of the trial, just that there is a trial. That's totally normal under jurisprudence, English common law, Magna Carta, Bill of Rights, Constitution, and your own law. Everybody knows that. They take him to jail for that, and then they order everyone not to talk about it, period, and denotice hundreds of publications. As you said, talking to other members of the press, this is unprecedented, and we have seen thousands hit the streets. Describe what you've witnessed, the level of awakening here. This is beyond the old Soviet Union.
Well, this is very, very different. I've been with Tommy for about 1.5 years now. We've gone to lots of protests. We've been to universities. We've been around the UK. But something very different has happened, and that's that people are now absolutely furious about this. There's a electricity almost in the air of people who have completely had enough of all of it. You're right about what you said with people being terrified and the establishment and our very establishment and our police being terrified about reporting on these grooming gang scandals. We haven't seen press restrictions on any cases with, people like Rolf Harris and all of these big, massive, high-profile cases with white pedophiles and things like that. We have the BBC with helicopters outside their house as soon as there's any accusations. This is completely unprecedented, and people can see straight through it. And you can feel the tension in the air of this country right now. You can cut it with a knife. It's so intense. It's quite scary, actually, seeing where this could go. And obviously, if any harm comes to him, I can predict mass violence across the UK. I can predict towns and cities coming to a standstill. We will not. What's about to happen is a change in a way we have never seen before in this country. Everything is shifting. There are journalists and there are mainstream people. I've met MPs and very, very high-profile people contact me and talk to me and saying that they want to go straight out, guns blazing, and going against this, but they'll probably lose everything. It's torn apart the fabric of the country right now.
Tommy Robinson.